Coach Natalie, and welcome to another episode of Jiu Jitsu for Dummies. Well, you're in for a real treat today. Today is our 40th video and exactly our first year anniversary of the start of this video series. Now, normally we would be covering kind of more basic moves, but in celebration of our anniversary, we're going to do something more advanced today, and that would be one of my favorite moves, the rolling back take. We'll be covering a couple of them, and of course we'll be moving at different angles, but let's check it out. See him from another angle. Okay, let's break it down. Now, I get a lot of my knowledge, both in person and online. And a while ago, I saw this rolling back take from a guy named Stefan Kesting, and he had a fellow instructor by the name of Matt Kwan. And Matt calls this the double leg rolling back take. So it's pretty simple. You're going to first start on the mount. Now, if you've done jiu-jitsu for any length of time, you know the person on the bottom, their defense against you mounting them is they're going to be turning on their side, and they're going to be trying to elbow escape, shrimp their hips out and, get out. So you're going to be on the mount. As I mentioned, their defense is going to be to get to their side so that they can elbow escape. So Sally here, my jiu-jitsu dummy, is going to get to her side. That's great. That's not a problem. I'm going to maintain the mount, but I'm going to turn. So I'm in this position. My knee is in her stomach. My south leg, towards her feet, is going to be, pinching behind her knees. I really want to pinch my legs together as much as possible. If I had longer legs, maybe I could even triangle them, but that's not necessary. It's more important totally just to pinch the legs together. Final move. I need to control both these legs. If I grab the top leg, I'm not necessarily controlling the bottom leg, but if I control the bottom leg, right now I'm using kind of a pistol grip, I'm actually, grabbing both legs together at the same time. Final thing I'm going to do, so pinching my legs, controlling the bottom leg. Last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to swirl my arm underneath her legs, and I'm actually going to do a shoulder roll. So looks like this. Again, from a couple other directions. Again, you're on the mount. Your partner is gonna get to their side. And of course they're gonna do that because they wanna, elbow escape, that kind of thing. So I'm gonna let them, actually let them get to their side. So I'm going to maintain mount. This knee, as I mentioned, kind of goes into their stomach. This leg is gonna pinch behind their knees. Last thing I'm gonna do is grab the bottom pant cuff in a pistol grip. I'm gonna put my arm on the floor underneath them, and I'm actually gonna roll on my shoulder. I flip them. I get to the back and, get the seat belt in, as we call it in the kids class. So again, pinch the legs, grab this bottom leg to control it. And get to the back. So, mistakes would be you're trying to flip your opponent, partner here, but you need to do that with your legs. So what you're going to need to do is you need to maintain this pinching. The leg goes into the stomach, the other leg goes behind the knees, and you really need to pinch the legs as much as possible. Like I said, if you have longer legs, you could actually triangle them from the back. But if not, this is fine too. Again, it would be a mistake to just grab the top leg. You really want to grab the bottom leg. And that, by lifting the bottom leg up, you're actually controlling both legs. And then this final mistake, I know from personal experience, you want to swirl your hand underneath their legs so that you're actually rolling on your shoulder. It would be a mistake just to kind of pitch yourself head first into the mat. That wouldn't be good. So again, got the mount. We're gonna let her flip to the side, because if she was a real person, this would be the defense, not a problem. I'm gonna turn my knee in her stomach, my other leg pinching up behind her knees. Pistol grip the bottom leg, maybe lift them up even a little. And what you're doing is you're putting the arm underneath their legs, and you're gonna follow it in a shoulder roll. And get to the back. Now, as I mentioned, that is a move that I learned from a video with Matt Kwan and his buddy Stephen Custing. And I really like a lot of their videos. They really break it down for, the average person. So if you never followed any of their videos, I recommend it. Check it out. Now, the second rolling back take we're going to do today is actually one I learned from a seminar given by Professor Megaton. Now, Professor Megaton is my teacher's teacher. He's actually also my IBJJF professor. But in any case, he was giving this seminar, and he called it the lion's tail. But the move actually, I guess, was created by one of his students, Omar Santiago, and based on the chiropractor position. So I'll show it and show it from a few angles. Maybe you enjoy it. So now, this is one of those moves that's actually best if you do it after you've been rolling for a little bit, because you're going to actually need this gi corner. So I'm already kind of loosened a little bit here. So what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be what we call combat base. combat base is here, where my leg is raised. I'm actually going to be holding both of my partner's lapels here, and this is really actually a good way of controlling them on the ground. Now, if Sally here was a real person, she might actually have her knee up, trying to create some kind of knee shield, but even if her leg is flat, that's fine. What I want to do is I want to grab this fabric on the top of her knee. Now, I'm going to move this knee onto the floor. I'm kind of stapling her leg to the floor, and what I'm going to be doing is what we call a layout. I'm actually going to be laying out. Now, I don't know if you can see, but I have now pulled this one leg over the other leg, and I'm kind of twisting her. And now I'm going to be controlling this leg with the top of my knee. I'm actually triangling my legs so her posture is compromised, and I'm actually controlling her legs with my two legs. Now, I'm going to switch the grip, underhook the head. Now, I'm going to loosen this ski top. If it's not loose, you have to loosen it. I'm going to pretend it is loose, and I'm going to feed it underneath my opponent's shoulder. So you can see, usually wouldn't give this much space, but I want you to see what I'm doing. I'm controlling her shoulder by underhooking it with her own gi corner. Her leg is over in the chiropractic position, and I'm actually triangling my own legs, and that's another form of control. So now what I'm going to do is I'm actually turning, controlling. I'm actually going to grab the fabric on the side of her hip. And again, it's one of those rolls. That's the name, rolling back take. I'm going to be rolling and get to the back. This is actually one of those moves that you can't do it slow enough to demonstrate it, so I'll just have to do it in real time. So, again, I'm going to be in combat base. Controlling her gi, holding her down, grabbing the leg fabric. If she was trying to knee shield me, that's fine. Grab the fabric. If her leg is flat, that's okay too. I'm going to staple the leg, still holding on to this grip. Actually, I'm going to do, let me show it to you from a different angle here. So, staple, and I am laying out and controlling this leg. This leg is obviously controlling their leg too. Again, my knee's behind her knee, and I'm going to be triangling my own leg, so it's really controlling her this way. Feed the grip, underhook the head, press down on them with your shoulder. And that's again another form of control. Take the corner, feed it underneath their shoulder. So again, control. Even if I get up, I'm gonna try to compromise them as much as possible. So, grabbing the side of the fabric, and get to the back. And I'll do that from one more angle. So, Control the gi top, combat base, grab the fabric, staple the knee, lay out, controlling this knee, pulling this leg over and trapping it. If I can, I triangle her leg. So she's compromised and I've trapped the leg. Also holding here. Feed the grip. Underhook the head. Grab the gi corner. Control her as much as possible. Still getting on my knees. Still gonna grab this corner here of her hip, and I'm going to roll and get to the back. And that is the rolling back take. Actually, 2 of them. Mistakes with the second one. Well, it's a little bit more complicated than the first. And believe me, if we normally teach moves, we'll try to teach simpler moves. This is a little bit more complicated than we normally might cover. So there's mistakes to be made all over in doing this move. But every grip that you make should carry out some kind of function. Remember, you're in, combat base. You want to be holding them down. This is combat base for whatever move you're doing. Knees on the stomach, you're really holding them down. You're grabbing this fabric. Again, you're going to control this leg. By stapling their leg, you're controlling it. By laying out, trapping this leg here, again, you're controlling it. Controlling, being really heavy on the shoulder. Again, taking this gi, my pronated hand, I'm controlling it while I'm still, triangling her legs and getting to my knee. Again, grabbing her hip. And then the last mistake, of course, would be to just, plow your head into the floor. That's not good. So what I'm doing is I'm grabbing here, rolling onto my shoulder. I'm using enough momentum to get me there. So rolling, controlling, and getting to the back. And that is the rolling back take. So, as I mentioned, this is the 40th video, and exactly 1 year ago we started this video series. Now, I couldn't have gotten this far without, of course, what I've learned from my teachers. So, to the extent it's good stuff, I'm going to give them all the credit. If there's a goof anywhere, I totally take that on myself. But I want to thank Professor Utterback, Harold, one of my professors, and Professor Ryan Kelly. Especially some of the earlier videos are based on moves that he's taught our class. I want to thank Professor Tyler Pasqua, who's another one of my professors, and Coach Paul Madavi, who is been, very generous in his lessons as well too. I want to thank Professor Omar Santiago, who actually created the second back take that we learned in, who allowed me to be in his instructor training course, which is, of course, the inspiration for this whole video series. Thanks to Megaton for, his seminars and allowing me to represent him at the IPJJF. And then, of course, as I mentioned, there's a lot of instructors who share freely of their time online. And I mentioned Stefan Kesting and Matt Kwan, and there's a lot of, instructors out there who teach and, offer free instruction. And we're all for the better for it. So thank you very much for staying with me this far. We've done 40 videos. I'm hoping we can do 40 more. And thank you very much for joining me for this episode of Jiu Jitsu for Dummies.